it was a really good day. I made it to the top of the mountain, and then I just pushed it too far. I really lucked out and found this clearing. That spot is flat. Lesson learned, better lucky than good. I went radio silent last night because that was my stubborn self. I pushed trying to make it to a shelter. I just kept going because I thought every time I turned a corner I'd be at the shelter. But I was also stubborn not to pull my headlamp out. I have to remind myself I don't know where the hell I'm going half the time, and nothing is as close as it seems. So I ended up on the blue trail. I just have to double back a mile that way. The problem is it's all uphill. How the hell did I make it down this last night without falling and killing myself? I spent about 5 or 10 minutes before I left where I camped last night looking for my other sandal. This is one of the big hills that I went down last night by accident on the blue trail, which coincidentally is Jones' Nose Trail. So I'm not Jones because I didn't know until it was too late. There's the blue marker. And I lost my sandal. Well, this is where I went wrong. And I remember reading this sign. It's my fault, I was in a hurry. I don't even know if I saw that trail. I had to have. I read the sign, Mt Greylock Summit. That's where I came from. And I read the sign, Old Adams Road, 1.5 miles. And that's the A.T Ways insignia. And the arrow I just thought was pointing that way, so I just went that way. First time stopping at the outdoor water store, hydration station. I already had some through the Sawyer squeeze filter, and it's cold and delicious. This guy's trying to sell me car insurance.
I was looking forward to staying at October Mountain Shelter since that is my birth month. Then after reading so many positive comments about the unique experience of the Cookie Lady at Blueberry Hill, I had to ask about tenting in their yard. The hibiscus raspberry lemonade hit the spot and was worth the donation. They offered me cookies and I instantly felt like I had stepped into a Hallmark movie. I was invited inside for a farm-fresh, home-cooked meal. We had roasted chicken and vegetables with a garden salad along with a blueberry pie for dessert. I joked they may have a hard time getting rid of me and was told they would just put me to work.
Well, this is a first for me. We've got water, and I'm not sure what else. But a nice note from Cleveland, Ohio. Cleveland really does rock.
I was on quite the roll, from Cheshire at Father Tom's to Dalton at Tom Lavardi's, and an amazing stay last night at the Cookie Ladies. All the while, everyone was telling me about coffee and pancakes at Upper Goose Pond Cabin. The trail to the cabin was surreal, and that evening I spent the rest of Father's Day thinking of my own. The next morning I was shocked to be the first person to the table, and my reward was the first and the last pancake. The real treat, though, was listening to everyone's stories about the trail.
So I just got off the trail, and I made it to a convenience store in East Lee, where I bought this USB-A to Lightning adapter for my iPhone. I didn't realize that my iPhone wasn't going to connect to my Anchor. That was a 3-mile lesson downhill and a 3-mile lesson up. But that is gold, and it only cost me $6. I'm either on the bridge to Terabithia or somebody's making me walk the plank. We'll see. We're not in Kansas anymore, but we're still in the Berkshires, and we're surrounded by farms and mountains. They better not think I'm climbing any of these mountains today, because I'm just about done. Well, they made me climb the mountain that I was afraid of, and then there was a summit vista at the top that I didn't want to stop at, but I couldn't pass up the view, and I'm glad I stopped. There's a park bench, and there's a little church, and a cemetery. I dropped my phone. That was my excitement today, so I have this case that is on a string, and it's attached to my pack. And I've put the phone in there 1 or 2 times, and it bounces around, and I always thought if it falls off because it's cheap,
I'd notice it because the phone's heavy and it's right in front of me. Today, I didn't notice it and I was as nervous as hell. I doubled back a mile and somebody found it and picked it up and put it right on a rock because I know it didn't fall in that spot. That's what I was hoping what would happen. What I was afraid of, because I'm going south, is that somebody going north picked it up and was going to take it with them. I'd never find them. And that was day 7. And now I'm here at South Wilcox Shelter. The first 3 days I was spoiled. I had electricity, water, a privy everywhere I went. I still haven't dug a hole and pooped in the woods in a cat hole. I'm still kind of getting used to my morning routine and my evening routine and being out in the woods, and my body is getting used to the nutrition. Not a lot of wildlife. A lot of it sees me coming and takes off the other way. I'm seeing a lot of chipmunk butts and a lot of squirrel butts. I saw one cool black butterfly with blue colors on its wings. I saw 2 or 3 of those orange lizards, and owls suck. When an owl first starts to hoot. It rained pretty good last night. So far so good. This was my first rainy night. All the corners held up. There doesn't seem to be any moisture on the inside. I'm happy with the big Agnes. This is the only weird thing. This is the second guy I found. You'd think that he'd be happy outside in the rain. This guy's on the outside of the tent. You better go away. I'm about to break this tent down, Mr. Daddy Longlegs. You're gonna take a long ride with me that you might not survive if you don't get out of my tent. You're not coming inside. Took my time this morning packing up my wet tent. It's wet and disgusting, but I did a good job packing up my bag. So all my stuff is relatively dry and clean, but my tent is filthy and wet. On the first day, I saw 3 of these orange lizards. And then I didn't see any for a very long time. And last night at camp, I bumped into this young woman who said that she will count them to keep herself entertained as a game. And I've already seen 8 or 9 this morning, and it rained. These guys are just more active on rainy mornings. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to give you a reference for scale, but this is a baby. This is the smallest one I've seen. Is this beautiful visually, it is nice and flat. I feel like I'm in a Led Zeppelin song or an Enya video or a token book about hobbits, or I'm about to step through a wardrobe out of Narnia. So I'm at some road, signs right there, but I could care less. I have a liter of water. And I thought to myself, I will take my pack off for trail magic or water. And I got both. A nice couple that was doing trail support in an SUV for the woman's sister. And they offered me a root beer. And then they just started handing me Builder's bars and whatever these juicy bursts are in a Nature Valley. I haven't had soda since I was a kid, but I could see myself being open to it because it's just quick energy. And I generally hate root beer. It's not a soda that I would want. Maybe a root beer float just for the novelty of having the root beer float with the vanilla ice cream. But I opened that can and it was delicious. And someone left a trekking pole here and there's a bunch of walking sticks. 2 of those are mine. So I think I'm gonna keep Thunder and leave Lightning here. And I think I'm gonna try out this trekking pole for a little while. This is Ice Gulch. I had read about it in the Far Out app. So I'm not going to get too close to the edge and give you a straight down perspective because I don't want to drop myself or my phone down there. Even in the summer, sometimes there's ice down there. Set my tent up right here to spend the night. There's a beautiful mountainside view.
I load my coffee into my smart water bottle like your great-great-granddaddy used to load his musket. When it's slippery, these rocks, they just mess you up. You know, your foot is out from underneath you before you know it, and you're on your ass. Okay, I got to figure out a safe way down this hill. You can see the white paint stripes on the rock face telling me that's the way I got to go. And I'm just looking for footing down this way and over that way. Reminds me of the beginning of Laverne and Shirley. Everything is working itself out. I almost just twisted my ankle. I keep telling myself today I can't do two things at once well, but I keep ignoring myself. Issue is, little chipmunk, are you listening? The issue is I'm using a spoon. I'm gonna sit here and tell this chipmunk if he'll stay still. He looks like he's had more coffee than me. I'm using a spoon to spoon that instant coffee, and I'm heavy-handed. Somewhere in between 2 and 2.5 miles away from town. I just crossed a road that I could have went into town on, I guess, and it looks like the same distance, but to go a little farther will bring me to Route 7. It's early. I don't mind pushing on the trail, so I can just restart at Route 7. Well, I made it to Great Barrington, and I'm having dinner with my pack. My pack doesn't eat much, neither does my guitar. These are eggplant fries, which are delicious with marinara sauce. And that's a Cobb salad. This has got everything. Egg, chicken, I don't know which came first, bacon, tomatoes, greens, which I haven't been eating. I haven't been eating eggplant, fried or otherwise. And I have a BLT cup. I decided to splurge. This is the only room they had, so 2 queen beds. Going to sleep in one bed, and if I wake up in the middle of the night, I'll move over to the other bed and test them both out. I'm gonna shower, and I'm gonna sit in the hot tub, and there's a big Y that I passed, so I have to go by that on the way out. But I got the rest of tonight to relax,